Thank you very much. I hope you can all hear me. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me and giving me the possibility to present you in the sake of reduce, reuse, recycle, why circular design is actually essential to materialize a circular economy that we are all envision. And I think I put myself into a nice row of different presentations and panel discussions already, where a lot of the topics have been addressed already, and I'm happy to continue this path with my fellow panelists. So, looking into Covestro, and maybe you know Covestro, and if not, also I put some figures here together. We are a global material supplier and producer, and globally present, including in India. We do have a compounding facility here in India and also a color and design center, which I would like to show you a little bit more in detail later on. The important thing is that we believe that our plastic material is really addressing a lot of the challenges of the current times and in the future, and plastics are part of the problem in terms of sustainability, but they are also an essential part of the solution. And therefore, we do have 1,500 employees working in research and development and 80 years of innovation and ideation in this field. That makes us a player that, being active in automotive, we have pushed boundaries in terms of applying plastics from K67, one of the first prototypes fully in plastic, over the years in many different examples of prototypes and the industry itself. And we believe that it's a challenging times for designers and for a lot of the automotive players, including obviously the tier ones among all of you. There's a lot of new requirements on materials and on design, on functionality, and therefore our materials can offer a lot of solutions already. If you look into our portfolio of polycarbonates, Macrolone, APEC, Biblend and Macroblend. But we want to be much more than just a material supplier. We want to be the go-to partner when it comes to circular economy and sustainable solutions across the value chain. And therefore we offer different kind of materials like circular options, recycled grades or bio-based materials. We offer also enabling with you together, and I think collaboration was already a big topic in all of the presentations, to materialize also circular business models to get the material back and to reuse it. But today I would like to focus a little bit more on design services and what we bring to the table towards designers and CMF experts. If you look at our material, that's what we basically sell, granules. And if you want to get in touch with designers or even engineers and innovators, that's maybe a little not so much inspiring. Why? We are coming as Covestro from the material itself. We invented polycarbonates. We are really experts on the material, producing it, and so on. So therefore, we have a communication that tends to be very much focused on the great performance of our material portfolio. Looking into the designers and creative industries, we believe they play an essential role in the circular economy, as already touched before by some of the panelists. So how to bring the performance and the technical expertise to their table. Looking into our materials, that's what we bring to the table, and you can see already how tasty, how cool polycarbonate can be in their applications in order to be inspiring. And that's why we created a team called Color Material Finish, because we see that a lot of our customers also have dedicated teams that actually are either in the industrial design area or more in the engineering field. But we have to somehow cover them, and because color material finish is the DNA of our material that we have been doing for decades now since its invention of polycarbonate. But we have to wrap it and communicate it differently, and we have to collaborate with this target group much more. Why? Because if you've come from the center part of our material, which is functionality, enhanced by processing technologies, and there was a very nice talk early on about processing technologies, it's about functionality of the material in its application. But if we think about our preferences as a consumer, but also in terms of the designers and CMF experts, there is a topic of choice of color. And that is emotional. And that is how you transport emotions in your product. And more important, circular design comes into play, as we all heard already a lot of times. All the three together create value, and that's what we want to do. We want, together with you, create value and bring added value to the table. We are not designers, but we believe that we can add aesthetic design, functional design, and circular design to the table in order to enhance the value, because if you think about the role of CMF, it's actually enhancing the value of the products. And only a good balance between the three levers can bring the maximum of the product. And if a product is valued, it will last longer. And that is part of the reuse story and of the product. And if a product is valued, it will last longer. And that is part of the reuse story and reduce story. In order to do so, we do have a network of 6 color and design centers across the globe, in the US, in Europe, in China, in Thailand, and also in India, plus an innovation center also located in Japan. You will find a lot of colleagues from India here at the little conference in the upper corner, already presenting you a lot of the output also of our innovation centers located in Japan, in Germany, in China, and in the US. Concerning our color and design center, what basically happens there is that our customers come to us with a CMF strategy, with the idea of color, with a reference, and we basically, together with them, if they come to our place, develop the right material grade combination, the right color grade combination, and we do sample, and on the very end, we hope to win the business with you. But it's much more than color that actually goes into that, and it's much more than a recipe. We've seen with the different processing technologies that the surface, the texture, contains a lot of functionality, and it plays with gloss, with high gloss, with matte, and it also provides functionality of scratch resistance, for instance. When we talk about color, it's about special effect in the color, but it's also about functional color. Especially in the automotive industry, you have a lot of sensor technology invading a lot of the components, so you need to be tailoring not only the color in terms of the visible color, but also in terms of transparency concerning certain wavelength. So when we say color, we look into the interaction of our materials with the light in a holistic way, and we can tailor that together with your engineers or together with your designers and CMF experts. That's more than color, as I mentioned. This is a variety of different kind of services that we offer for our customers in our color and design centers, and obviously as well in our color and design center here in India and Delhi, Greater Noida. Apart from color services, basically bringing all the expertise in making the right sample for you, we do have the functional color development, as I already mentioned, and we do emerge a lot more in the digital area. A lot of our customers, we saw that also earlier, are working digitally much more than ever before. So we need to sample you in terms of digital as well as we do already in terms of the physical. And we do offer we offer support and training to our customers in color science, or even consultancy in the area of CMF strategy. One area is the CMF trend research, and you can see one of the results out of our CMF trend research, in particular interesting for emerging OEMs, ODMs, but also Tier 1. So what we do here is to publish our perspective on the future trends in terms of color and effects and texture in the different industries, such as, for example, the automotive. But it's more than that. We are not just coming from the trends. There is an intensive trend research behind, but we also use inspiration from other materials. In this case, as a case study, the topic of porcelain, which is of a high value meaning in China in particular. And that was a collaboration with Guangzhou Automotive Company, which were looking into discovering the new luxury in Chinese. And looking into porcelain and what does it actually mean, especially coming from the Song dynasty, we collaborated as well with the Guangzhou Academy of Fine Arts and produced a set of color trends that actually address these needs from the automotive player. But there's more, not only coming from different materials, but I'm very happy here in India to introduce you to some color trend studies we did with the DIC in Japan about trends and meaning of color, which is obviously different in every single culture and every country and region. So we did do a research on India symbolic color. And the colleagues, again, you will meet out there, they will have the full set of different colors. But just let me just give you a snapshot with the blue and orange, which actually are my favorite color combinations as such. Blue is a very cosmic color. The concept of infinity is really depicted in these mood boards and subsequently in our polycarbonate with that India blue. And the orange, spirituality, coming from the red, going to the yellow. I really like that a lot. So please visit our colleagues, have a look at that. As depicted here, there's a much more fundamental research behind that in order to tell the story also for your customers. That's a set of different colors that, together with DIC Corporation, we managed to translate into our material. And that is already coming to the point of circular design. Circular design for us are basically composed of 5 strategies, looking into modular design, the circular material choices, as I mentioned already, recycled materials, but also bio-based materials, design for extended product life, product as a service, basically taking the material back on the very end, and dematerialization, using less material is also, of course, an important topic. And the highest degree of dematerialization that you can get is virtual material. So what we are introducing with Imagio is a kind of a digital twin of our polycarbonate materials that enables your designers to utilize not RGB and transparency grades in their design software, but to work with a Macrolone 24/7 in the respective color that you want to actually apply. And you can see here a picture of a laptop where the center part is a rendering made with our Imagio solution, and we positioned our real samples across. You can see that this technology offers you a very high degree of accuracy when it comes to digital design. That's the technology behind. Basically, you scan any kind of material and you compress it into the AXF file format, which is similar as a PDF, compressed data that you can use in many different software solutions. And then virtual prototyping, as comparing with the real one, is easy and, of course, less material consuming. To another example, when we talk, beside dematerialization, about circular material options and modular design, looking into headline concepts. We worked on a project with many different cooperation partners on all these functionality that you look into when it comes to headlamps. And what we basically, now, it's not working anymore. Okay, here you can see a headlamp concept, basically, where the whole headlamp, including its functional elements, are made out of polycarbonate. Yeah, that's important because monomaterial concepts help you to recycle more easier anything of the material and bring it back to reuse and recycle. Even the back part with the thermoconductive material is realized in polycarbonate. And if you look into it, what is the tremendous advantage of this kind of approach in monomaterial and modular design is that you have much less components, that you have the same functionality, less weight, much more design freedom, and of course, up to 45% of CO2 footprint less than standard traditional design. So here the combination with circular material options and the modular design gives you that impact. And of course, we talked about it already, nothing is possible without the collaboration approach, and there are a lot of people involved in this kind of realization of the concept. Looking into the circular material choices that I already addressed a little bit, And we are coming from the last 40, 50 years where everybody was into lightweight, of course. And then now in the last 5 years, monomaterial design is, and of course will be, a big topic. But also circular products in terms of the business model and the material choices is a big topic where we are looking into not only renewable energy for our production sites, but in particular in chemically recycling. So this is our path towards fully circularity that we want to reach in 2050, to really invest in these kind of technologies, a part of enabling designers and translating the opportunities in these areas to designers and CMF experts, which are in the very beginning of the conceptual idea that are needed to tackle the challenges that we face here. And as I mentioned, circular design options, they look into post-consumer or post-industry recyclables that we have in our portfolio, the so-called R grades, and the biocircular resources that we put as a mass-balanced solution into our product portfolio, the so-called RE grades, a part of supporting our customers and our partners with these circular design options, not only coming from us as a color and design team, but also from our technical experts in application development, for instance. But we also see that our customers, when think, in my opinion, a very essential point, because we heard that several of these materials are more expensive and more hard to get in terms of its application. And wherever, for example, in the automotive interior or exterior, you see materials, you get into interaction with materials, there is a meaningful thing to push this mindset also into our consumer space to say, hey, I'm utilizing a more sustainable material. But how to communicate that? We did some research with the Tsinghua University in China, which is pretty much the Stanford of China, about preferences of people when it comes to recycled materials and circular materials, to build a whole portfolio of color design and texture design around that area, to be able to consult our customers of what kind of color space of mood boards you better use in order to communicate sustainability in materials where they're visible. Why? Why we do that? There are studies that the material choice and the color material grade choice on the very beginning of the project is responsible for up to 80% of the total footprint of the resulting product. And that's why we want to get in touch with you and your designers, apart from your engineers, innovators, and so on, to be as early as possible into that cycle, because then we can bring our material competence as best to the table and work together on creating that 80% impact as its best. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope that I presented you Covestro from a different angle if you already knew it. Our colleagues are here. You find me on LinkedIn. Here is my email address, or I'm happy to chat with you now and later on. Thanks a lot for your attention.